At this time, please join me in welcoming Lieutenant General Stephen Humber, United States Marine Corps retired.
All right, thanks a lot. Hoorah! All right, thanks. Wow. So, if I get a standing ovation from the start, I wonder how it's going to end up. Anyhow, thanks, Austin. Thanks, Cannon, for this great event. Wow, look at this. The place is packed. The chow is awesome. Right, everybody's all dressed up. This is a great night. And I want to thank God for allowing this to happen. Thank Him for grace and His mercy, because we know that these days we certainly need all of that and more. So I want to start with a verse. This verse was written by a soldier, Charles Michael Province, and I use this a lot, but I think it's very poignant for veterans. So it's the veteran, not the priest, that gives us freedom of religion. It's the veteran, not the journalist, that gives us freedom of the press. It's the veteran, not the poet, that gives us the freedom of speech. It's the veteran, not the campus organizer, that gives us the freedom of assembly. It's the veteran, not the judge or the lawyer, that gives us a right to a free trial. And it's the veteran, not the politician, that gives us the right to vote. Our freedoms are won on the battlefield. Our freedoms have been won since the very first battle that this country had, the very first fight back in colonial days, up through current times. And when our forces are forward deployed, wherever they are, Afghanistan, Iraq, they are defending our country from afar. Because otherwise, those terrorists that we know are in those countries, they would be here. You know, normally I'm talking to veterans, I'm not necessarily talking to first responders, but here as of late, right, when we talk about battle spaces and battlefields and winning our freedoms, our first responders are doing that now around the country, right? And this is serious. So all of these guys, all these folks, men and women, you know, when they get up in the morning and they go out, they potentially could get hurt or die for someone they don't even know, someone they have never met. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And again, back to the spouses and the families, remembering them. Because they see them go, and you know what's going on in the back of their minds. I love you guys. We have a great country, yet there's a lot of complacency. We see that over the freedoms. People that haven't seen what a lot of you have seen, and they don't appreciate it, and they may never understand it, but that's still why we fight for the freedoms. A lot are physically battered. A lot are mentally and psychologically battered. A lot try and help themselves with drugs. A lot try and help themselves with alcohol. That doesn't work. They get into states of depression, states of despair, helplessness, okay? And we see the 22 to none, right? We know what that stands for. 22 veterans, I think it's closer to 20 now, but still, which is a good thing, okay? A day are killing themselves. I've talked to some police here lately. They're not sure what the statistics are, but the police are having the same issue, especially now with all the issues going on. Not only that, but then in line of duty injuries and deaths. They are much higher than they have been in the past, and you're seeing that on TV all the time. We're a tough society, and we hide our hurts, right? There's a lot of people that are suffering. There's a lot of people that are suffering out here tonight, right? And we hide that. We hide that very well, but it's going on just the same. Another statistic that I've learned, right? I don't know how many people we have in here tonight. 1 in 20 people, this is not just veterans, not just first responders, this is 1 in 20 people have thought of and are thinking of killing themselves. 1 in 20, right? And I've already talked to some individuals tonight, and that's true for them because they've had some issues in the past where they thought of killing themselves. So in here, I don't know what we got. What do we got? 400 people in here? Math for Marines, figure it out. So one of the things that I do and my wife does, we support an organization called Combined Arms. And we put flyers out on the table. So in the last 3 years, this organization called Combined Arms has developed a conglomerate or a collaboration among now probably close to 80 organizations that provide resources for veterans. And if you open that flyer up, you'll see in the bottom center, it gives you a list of services that they can coordinate veterans with. So what happens is you go to their page, combinedarms.us, you do an assessment, and it's a non-invasive assessment. They're just asking kind of what the facts so that they can help you get started. But then they'll ask you, what are you looking for? Because they know that veterans are looking for more than one thing. They may be looking for a job. They may be looking to socialize with other veterans. They may be looking to volunteer with an organization that does community service. They may need financial assistance. They may need help with benefits with the VA. They do all of this. They want all alternative therapies. So now over 80 organizations, and I guess if you count up all the resources, somebody's done over 300 resources. Some of them overlap a little bit, right? And Cannon is a member of Combined Arms. So if a veteran or first responder gets on the page, says what they're looking for, and Cannon's close to their zip code, they'll point them toward Cannon Recovery. And I think that's it's a great thing. So we talk about post-traumatic growth. And I could go into a long discussion about what's going on there. But we know we have that. It's kind of become the de jure injury in the wars after the last 20 years. Can you believe it? We've been at war for 20 years. You know, we do have guys in Afghanistan still. I don't think everybody knows that. Anyhow, post-traumatic growth. I just heard a veteran tell me what that stands for. So persistence, tenacity, and grit. Post-traumatic growth, and that's what you need for all of that. So veterans are victors. They're not victims. They're victors. And they belong to the greatest military ever in the history of this world. And it is as good today as when we were in, except a lot of people are wearing masks now. Okay, you know, we need to take better care of each other. We have great organizations. We've got Canon, but we need to take better care of each other. We need to love each other better. So I want to do two things tonight. I want you to pledge to me two things tonight. The first one is that we need to observe and listen better. Observe and listen better. Those 1 in 20 out there that are thinking about suicide, you're not going to know that if you just go, "How you doing?" You're only going to know that if you get to know somebody better. And you're listening. You're not talking, you're listening actively. And you're trying to understand who they are and what's going on behind their eyeballs. And at some point, and you'll know when, it's important to ask the question. There's a lot of myths about suicide. Right? If you ask someone if they're thinking about killing themselves, well, that'll put the idea in their head. They're not doing too good. They have despair. They're hopeless. That's not how it works. You have to ask the question, are you thinking of killing yourself? If they're not, they'll go, "Nope, I'm fine, thank you very much." If they are, they may not say something up front, but they know that you're open to that. And later they may come back around and want to talk to you. Of course, you need to know what to do then. 1 in 20, think about it. And you have to get to know people and you have to ask the question. So that's the first pledge I want you to do tonight, right? Listen better, listen actively, and observe. And the second is, I want you to meet somebody tonight that you did not know when you got here. And I want you to exchange contact information so that you can communicate in the future. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, hey, great, the general wants us to get hooked up. No, that's not it, right? We need to be more loving. We need to care for each other. We get so hell-bent for leather going down our track that we're not all that concerned about other folks. We, again, all these organizations are awesome, but one-on-one, we need to care for people better. So one, put our right hand up. I pledge I will listen better, I will observe better, right? And I pledge I will meet somebody tonight. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of hands up here, are we? Pledge that I will meet somebody tonight, I will leave with their contact information, and I will contact them in the future to learn more about them, who they are, and maybe take them to Whataburger. God bless you. God bless the great state of Texas. God bless our veterans. God bless our first responders and their families. Semper Fidelis, and God bless America.